we this time we have the understanding, and the apostles also later they got the understanding of what he said there. So it's the same thing as feeding from the word of God. Everything that Yeshua HaMashiach said was from the word of God. He did not do anything outside of the word of God. He did not come to give a new religion. He did not come to feed a new food. The same word of Elohim that he came to give to the world. And that's why he is referred to. That's why he referred to himself as the bread of life. So also yesterday, the first time.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I had to just rush down from an engagement, so I want to welcome everyone to this business development class, and it's going to be a very brief one, and I want us to interact during this section, because one of the things I've always had understood is your finances plays a major role in your dominion, and that's why I want us to open our Bibles to Genesis chapter 1. You're welcome to our business seminar. I want to welcome those who are joining this broadcast through the internet. You're welcome to this section. Now, in the business development seminar, we focus on two areas. We're looking at financial management and budgeting. Financial management and budgeting. Alongside what was mentioned earlier on consumption, do you know that a large amount of our finances, it goes into consumption. So if you look at the things you own today, a large amount of what you own are things you don't need. A large amount of the things we own are things we don't need. We don't need the things we own, and that's why this seminar will help us set our priorities in order. You just have to have your priorities in order. You have to have it. For those of us who are having more children, some of us don't have yet. If you have children, you will understand what it means to get them good food, good schools, quality education, very expensive. Quality food, very expensive. So fathers who are providing for their children and for their families, kudos to you. It takes a lot to be a responsible father or a responsible parent. That's why we have so many fathers who are not responsible, because if you look at what it takes to provide quality education, quality provision for children, and so it's so expensive these days. But if we understand financial management and budgeting, we can always be ahead of the system. You can always be ahead of the economic system. And I always advise, and one of the things I will share with us in this teaching is also how to store, how to purchase things. A lot of times we buy what we need for now, and it's even more expensive when you buy for now. But if you buy more than you need for a month, you buy through 3 months, 1 month, you find that you're spending more if you buy more in bulk than when you buy in just this retail content. The end of this teaching, the goal is that you and I will be you'll be fit to manage yourself in the days ahead that is coming. When Jehovah began to bless me, I started having more calls from people. Everyone had a need. I just broke my leg, I just broke my arm, I just broke my head. Everyone was breaking something and having problems, and so they were leaning upon me to solve their problems. And when I had problems, I don't want to lean upon to solve my own problems. So people will just have that sense of they will make poor decisions and poor choice with their life, and you will now take the consequence of your life and dump on somebody. And that's what most of us do. We are doing things that are stupid and foolish, making bad decisions financially. And the moment you make bad decisions financially, you're going to be in big trouble. Speak in tongues, shout, blah, 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 and do all those things. If you have a bad financial life, you can't be a representative of God's kingdom. You can't. One thing Apostle Arthur taught me is this: he said, if the enemy can shut your finance, he shut your ministry. As ministry is finances. The things we are doing today, you see work going on every day, except we choose to stop work. There are ministries who are incapable of doing this. It's not because God is bringing money down from heaven. It's because of wisdom. That wisdom is what I want us to come and learn. One of the days, many years ago, I traveled to Ota to be in the ministry of Bishop David Oyedepo. And when I got in there, I saw the order of that arena, how things were arranged. I saw how things were done. I took out money from my pocket and I bought Bishop Oyedepo's teachings and books out of his materials. I did not digest those materials. He seems to have a dominion in his financial realm of life that I deeply admire. You've got to admire secret in people. There's something working in people that you must learn from. Don't just see people and think what I want to get from them is money. What I want to get from them is help. The biggest thing you need in life is to get wisdom from people. When we began doing this ministry in Lagos, there were times when I began, data was offering. I didn't have money for data. We'll be doing live broadcasts, 200 megabytes. Money will finish, megabyte to end. I was careless. I was like, at least I don't have now, I was like, I don't have now. What will I keep myself? That idea of I don't have now. Then I realized that those who stayed for the teaching and saw me disappear were seeing a bad example. Apostle now called me and told me, he said, if I was to move, he said for him in ministry, if he was to move to a region, the first thing they will check in that region is the quality of the internet service. Because why? He said a large amount of what they do in Charlotte and have accomplished in Charlotte was based on their media presence. And I didn't know that so strong. I was thinking, if data goes off, at least the people are still there. And those who even helped our ministry so far are not people here or people in Lagos. They were people whose this data blessed. So carelessness is one area where you just find yourself in poverty. So he dealt in that area. So I became careful, more conscious. Then he taught me, he said, okay, you must become consistent when you show up. If it's 5 p.m. every day, when people know this ministry comes up 5 p.m. every day, then they can adjust their time to your services. Then he now called me sometimes ago and told me that I was dealing with financial issues, no much partners, no more congregations, all of those things. And he said, tithing. He said, you must tithe. He said, I'm not asking you to tithe because of yourself or anything you can give to me, so you can give me nothing. I'm already so blessed. He said, but if you start tithing, God will start blessing you. I was in Lagos there. So I was like, doesn't know my condition. This Nigeria, Africa mindset, we think, those overseas are blessed, the systems are blessed, so we are less. So I was having that idea, so I obeyed. The first of gift that God and we gave tithes, God began to send us partners. People began to see us. It's as if what covered us was just removed. What covered us was removed. So that was understanding that if I did not give, I would not get. And this is one area, even in financial management, if you don't give, you will not get. I'm telling you. All these gimmicks of come and sow, come and take anointing oil, and we compare people to gimmicks. The goal is this: when people understand the law of giving and receiving, they will know that God is calling us to be generous. It's not compulsive giving. When I release that offering, partner will get partners. What we have done here is, I'm telling you, Elohim opened the heaven because we gave. And whenever I discover that there's a shortage, a blockage of resource to come to me to the next level, I realize that I need to sow again. When you release a seed, your vow will do something I can't even understand it works, that the resource will come to enable me to do that thing. A lot of time we are withholding. Many of us are limited. You think that limitation is your reason. You can't ask the apostle to say I don't have. I was thinking the same, we can't apostle out of say I don't have. Thinking that is a logical ground to hold on to. Can't God say I don't have? God is saying to you, this is what you have in your hand. I'm not going to pour anymore. I'm telling you, saints, what we did in 1 year, what we have done is mind-blowing to me personally. And I was sharing a story when, based on this situation, I know that there were response to our giving, and part of financial management is you must know how to give to your God. The time came, things were difficult for us to complete this work, and the Lord told me, remember you said that if the work is not completed in 1 year, you give me your car, when you see your car. I was like, oh yes, I remember I made that commitment to Jehovah. I called a car buyer, my Lexus, sent it to Lagos. We sold the car, took the entire money for us, over 900,000 worth of floor price. Push this fence backward. Deal screen. I've sold into the fact that is the least car could ever drive. By sowing that Lexus, I had shown you that is the least I could ever drive. There are things we do as Yoruba's people that people who just are reluctant think it's just lucky. It's just no. There's an open heaven. There's an open heaven upon your land. If heaven does not open upon your land, you will not flourish. You will not flourish. Even in businesses. In businesses, we're dealing with a conference one time in Lagos. I brought a guest speaker. We're talking about the 7 mountains of God. He said something so profound in business. He said there's this lady that they kind of sell fish. Whenever she puts her fish, people pass her by to buy fish from another woman, another seller. And she was wondering why nobody was buying her fish. One day, one of the women told her, laughingly, he said, you, in Yoruba language, you want to sell fish, but you don't want to join the group. You want to teja, meaning you want to sell fish, but you don't want to join the cult. That means, because she's joined the cult, they make sure her fish was dead and smelling, but in the spiritual realm, it was a smelling fish. Everyone who passed by saw it, but she thought she was selling fish. Those who run businesses, you see a lot of these businesses, you think they run them with just you think they run it with just clear eyes. If you know most of the places you've gone to eat, the things people do in the city, they are woken up very midnight, went to the 3 road junction, 4 road junction, and dropped a bomb sacrifice to the demon god with the 3 road junction. You are still saying I'm a graduate of University of Ibadan, a graduate of University of Jos. You are still quoting graduate. And these beings are laughing at you. Say, look at this. But damn poverty and hunger finishing. You know, this is not graduate matter. I think it's graduate matter. I'm telling you, it's not graduate matter. There are laws you will obey. That's why I said to you earlier on the last Shabbat. I said, our ancestral fathers knew that for the land to produce, they must appease the idol. They were not scholars, they were not elites, they were traditional worshippers of people who knew that an idol must be appeased. Why do you think they do this New Year festival every year? Why do you think there are festivals done in your villages? Why do you think they do those things? So there are things they do to appease the favor of the gods. I'm telling you, otherwise they will plant and not reap. Otherwise they will plant and locusts will eat up the whole crop. They had to influence the spirit realm on their behalf. So what I want to establish is this afternoon, as we deal with financial management and budgeting, it is not to first touch on the natural laws you can apply. You can apply the natural laws and it's not get results. You must first attain the spiritual laws of financial management and budgeting. When I was in the seminary, one of my professors made a statement that got my attention. He said there's something called a demon of time. Not biblical, I don't know, but he said it's a demon of time. He said, do you know how the demon of time works? Whenever you get 1 million now, a problem worthy of that value. And there are people right now who are going through that situation. When I moved to Abado for the first time, just got married, not too long, we moved to Abado. The first thing I discovered that my refrigerator, Tamaku, stopped working. I thought it was normal. Then washing machine stopped working. Then I went to buy fuel one time, my old Highlander, what happened? I had filled the fuel with 10,000 naira fuel, just leaking. The tank was leaking. In that time, when I called, my mother-in-law was now involved. She now said, she now gave a warning, there's some, I wasn't certain of things like that, then I've been away until then children fall sick, and all of those things will happen. Tell me, how can you do financial management? How can you do budgeting? You can't do budgeting. So women of us in that situation where the team troubling you will not make you budget. They are demons. Demon of time. So you are just in that place where you are still quoting, you are speaking grammar. The way out there is to face the wall and talk to your back. So until you set your case to your back, anything I'm talking about your principle of financial management will not work. That's why we're here last night to pray. That your God will open the heaven over us. So then after prayer, that thing now died off. It died off. Things were not working fine. And I knew how much I lost in those times. With all the intellectual soundness, I didn't know there were forces behind, beyond the natural. Many of us right now, you cannot build a house or buy land, not because your time has not come. The forces working against you is creating problems and circumstances and situations that will make sure your money will be diverted. I'm telling you. So you will be laboring for other men. You'll be going helter-skelter. There's nothing to show for it. You just be moving about like wind, nothing to show for it, no substance, no value. And when a man is covered that his life is not bringing forth value, you can't boast of a piece of land. You can't boast of a piece of land. You can't boast of an item of value or stock in the market and the stock with the company. There are people right now, you may not have the land, but if you have a stock with a reputable company, it shows you are moving forward. You have a share, you have a crypto, that is, you have one Bitcoin, you have one Ethereum. If all of those things are happening, you are just looking and nothing to show, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Yes, there are those who rise on the platform of inheritance. But if a man does not have inheritance, that means God is saying you must work extra shift. Your own case is extra shift. So the first secret to our financial dominion is the law of Elohim. We must make up our mind that we will obey the law of Elohim, because the psalmist tells us that it is a man that meditates in his law day and night that will prosper. It says he will prosper, whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So the key to financial dominion is the law of Elohim. The law of Elohim will make you prosperous. It is the working out of his laws that will produce your financial prosperity in your life. You can choose this afternoon to reject what I'm going to say, and it's up to you. I'm not compelling anyone to do what I've done, but I'm telling you what I've done and what I'm doing. You can choose to operate in self-pity and point my father, my mother. You can point at people and fail. Yes, to look at yourself and deal with yourself. You can choose to point at other people's failure as the reason why you're where you are. Or you can take personal responsibility. What we're dealing with this evening is personal responsibility. Because you have a brain. If you put that brain to work, your life will work. There are different degrees of people here. There are those of us who have handwork. Some of us will use our strength to work. Some of us will use our brain to work. Some will use their pen to work. But even if it's brain, pen, and strength, no one is more superior to the other. Don't say because that one has pen, a graduate. Me, my own is that my own is strength, so I'm limited. No, there are those who are using strength today to work, and they are multi-millionaires. You must believe that whatever format you are using to labor, Elohim can bless you. He can bless you. And that's why this kind of message is so important, because it's going to help those who really care. Having issues with this thing. Those who really care. Okay, so let's turn to Genesis chapter 1. Genesis 1. Verse 20. Verse 26. Let's help me read from verse 26 to verse 29. Genesis 1, 26 to 29.
Genesis 1 from verse 26. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heaven, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the earth. And Elohim created the man in his image. In the image of Elohim he created him. Male and female he created them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said to them, bear fruit and increase, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the bird of the heaven, and over the creatures moving on the earth. And Elohim said, see, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food.
Continue to verse 31.
And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heaven, and to every creeping creature on the earth, in which there is breath of life, every green plant is for food, and it came to be so. And Elohim saw all that he had made, and see, it was very good. And there came to be the evening, and there came to be the morning, the
6 days. So in this place we see the dominion mandate. We see that Elohim has given you dominion. Full stop. Be a graduate, be a school dropout. I don't care where you are. You have dominion. You are made in Elohim's image. That's so powerful. That's enough reasons why you believe in yourself. You have dominion. You are made in His image, in His likeness, and there is a sentence upon you that you are to be fruitful and to multiply. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. So are you fulfilling these mandates? Can you tell yourself, I'm 30, 40, 29, whatever age you are, can you say to yourself first? Because there are different levels. The first level is to be fruitful. Second is to multiply. Third, don't bother. First level, fruitful. Second level, multiply. Third level, fill the earth. The fourth level, subdue it. So the first stage is a stage of fruitfulness. The second stage is a state of multiplying. The third stage is a stage of distribution, fill the earth. The last stage is the stage of subduing it. You are not going to subdue if you don't begin first with fruitful. And fruitfulness is an eternal event. You're fruitful from within, because that's what they be fruitful. You're fruitful within, and that's where personal development comes to play. Are you fruitful? When we see a tree bearing fruit, and we see so many fruit around the tree, we see this is a healthy tree. The fruitfulness of that tree is rooted in a healthy roots, healthy branches. There are things around that has made that tree fruitful. The outflow or the outflow of fruit bearing is a consequence of a process no one sees. So when you see fruitfulness, we are seeing internal workings. We are seeing inner graces. We are seeing health within. So don't just admire the fruit. It's a consequence of an inner nourishing. So the basis of our fruitfulness, if you look at Genesis chapter 1:27, is in the knowing that we are in His image and likeness. So before He tells you to be fruitful, the foundation for this commandment is that you and I have been made in Elohim's image and likeness. So because of this, we all carry the DNA to express fruitfulness while you are made in the image and the likeness of Elohim, so you can be fruitful. Multiply. So fruitfulness positions us to multiply. It also now will require us to extend our multiplications to various facets of life. If you are not multiplying or distributing or expanding, then you cannot subdue. You can subdue. You can subdue. And to die without fulfilling this mandate is to die mediocre. It's to die mediocre. So there is a mandate upon our lives to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, and to subdue it. So all of this expression is now grouped into various or three areas. First, Say, rule the fish of the sea. So our dominion is in the realms of the aquatic. So it speaks of the realms of the aquatic. To rule the realms of the sea. Second, the best of the air. Rule the realms of the terrestrial. This involves technological realms, aviation realms. This is the realm of intelligence. See, every creature that crawled on the earth, then the realms of the terrestrial. So there are three realms. The first realm is the realm of the aquatic, the realms of the aquatic, celestial, and terrestrial. The best of the air, that's the realms, the etheric realm, and then the realms of the terrestrial. So what realms are you dominating today? What realms? And to dominate these realms, you dominate it from the realms of your intelligence. You dominate it from the realms of where? Where? Your intelligence. Obasanjo did not go to, was not, all these guys who are dominating you guys today, who are military generals, it was intelligence. Native, they are dominating from the realms of native intelligence. All of the elite scholars, graduates are not in the corridor of power. The Fulani guys who are ruling you are all native intelligence. You think native intelligence put a man ahead? My mother-in-law runs a business, and I hear her talk a lot, and I realize that even without being a graduate, she is self-sufficient. Even my late mom was self-sufficient. Things could never happen in my house, and my mother would not bring her 100,000. No school, nothing can go wrong. My mother will not bring at least 100,000 by suddenly. Through native intelligence. They knew about account, they knew savings, they knew, despite the children they bore. I can get 7 children. For many of us that graduate and our exposure, if things go wrong, we beg. Anything go wrong. You don't have 100,000 please stored up. But these women could do so. All by native intelligence. We must wake up. We must wake up. And no child will, with these women, no child will go to sleep hungry. How they got the food, you can't even tell. Even when our fathers were misbehaving and they would just travel and not be around, these women still knew how to provide, and they could stay, they could balance the equation. They had native intelligence. And this native intelligence is seasoned by apprenticeship. That's what I'm telling you most of it. Say it's seasoned by apprenticeship. If you don't learn how to serve under person we get sense. Most of the guys who are doing well through native intelligence, if you look at them, my mother was the first of almost 8 children. She was the one who carried during the Civil War. She was the one who carried and do everything. By that responsibility put upon her, she learned apprenticeship and she learned sense. A lot of what we have today in Nigeria is that people don't get sense anymore. You just walk up and down, stroll up and down, spend time on Google, spend time on Twitter, spend time on Instagram. Many of them are just bankrupt of intelligence. Those days you want to learn mechanic. Your guy will drill your life. He will drill you. You think that your family hates you by dumping you. The man will drill your life. But if you stay the course, you will emerge as you cannot fail. After you learn your apprenticeship and you fulfill your own service, you become a guru who will also employ others. Today, where is those things? Ordinary send people small message. Go and get fertilizer. Send them 3 times. He will be dragging leg. Let me judge this. He will be talking in his own mind. No more apprenticeship. No more plumbers. You bring plumbers, they will do nonsense work. They can't learn. Nobody will carry the tools and the toolbox. Where are toolbox now? How many workers do you see who carry toolbox? All of these boys who come to work. They don't have tools. They have no tools. My father, a cake. When we were born, we saw him. He has toolbox. They have toolbox. Standard 6. They got GCE, American GCE, British GCE. Vocational courses, railway, they were railway boys. They learned this thing from railway school. And from them they struggled, did some exams, British exam, they put their head in civil service. They struggled and they moved in, and then they were able to stabilize financially to take care of 6 children. Today you have people doing fine boy, speaking grammar, doing fine boy, no money in your pocket. You want big life, you want big things, you're eyeing big cars, but you don't want to pay the price for apprenticeship. You see what I'm talking about? So if we see people who now emerge with decent way of making money, not the ones who are doing scam and yahoo, those boys who are doing nonsense. I'm talking about decent livelihood, earning it. No one can attain that who skip apprenticeship. When I finished from seminary, I knew apprenticeship, not that, because even before I even got to seminary, I served as fellowship leader, I've served as Sunday school teacher, I've served as kindergarten teacher. What the HOD of the children department, they don't even allow me to teach. These guys will tailor you. Why? It is when you serve in those capacities that you are developing your intelligence. So when Elohim now lifts you up, you have the intelligence to manage, to grow your own thing. So I have to speak on this area because they are very, very important area. I can't serve anybody. I can't serve under anybody. I was a bag carrier for Bishop Adeniyo, or I would carry his Bible. I would be in the ministry for sometimes I'll stay for weeks upon weeks. When I'm leaving, they give me 1,500 naira. But I was learning the trade. And I was happy about it. And because we can't even manage anything anymore, we are finding it even hard to even manage our finances. We're always complaining that money is not enough. We're always complaining money is not enough. You know why it's not enough? Because we are poor managers of our time, of our life, of our thoughts, even of our finances. We can't manage anything. I brought some young boys here, when we began to do this work. My goal was to empower them and equip them so they stay with us. I realized something so strong about these boys was that I drink Ever water. I used to drink pure water. The same way I use an iPhone. I used to use Nokia Touch, Android. What even pushed me to iPhone was because I was between buying a camera and buying an iPhone. I don't do that. Then I drink Ever. When I brought these boys in, one of them tasted pure water and said, pure water is smelling, that he wants to drink pure water. What have you been drinking before? It is pure water, but now your eyes is big. I realized that when I make provision for food for them, they will consume everything as if there's no tomorrow. They consume everything as if there was no tomorrow. And I was watching and I was enlightening them about life. The man who has it now does not have it now because it is easy for him. He has it now because he has gone through the rudiment of lack and not having. Don't start from where he is. and so crucial. There have been times when I'm traveling, when I was marrying my wife, I was on the road, Lagos to Port Harcourt, countless times. I couldn't afford to fly. But today, if I want to travel, I hardly think of spending that 7 hours or 6 hours on the road. And then Elohim has enabled me, at least I can fly. If I now said, let's travel together, you now say, I said, let's travel together for Sunday. I now fly. You now say, why will pastor fly? If I want to travel there. Now allow me. I said, you enter vehicle, let me fly. You now start picking offense and feeling, you were going together. You now fly. You now let me this thing. You see where people thinking that by so doing, that person is blocking his own door, not knowing that this one that is flying was once biking. Over time, Jehovah has stick his own card and score. But your own has not gone through that process, but you want it to be ticked. That was what ended the career of Idris Abdul. When Star was doing this their talent hunting, Idris entered the plane and he saw 50 cents in the first class. While they put Idris behind, Idris got up and went to sit in 50 cent seat. 50 Cent came and said, "Get up, man." He was insulting Star. That's how we start put Adrian and put them in. Star was not doing those things to say because you were black or you are an African. Star was acknowledging those who have paid their dues. When you pay your dues, your time will come. You won't have to struggle. People will know where to put you. You won't say, "This is where I belong." Naturally, people will know where to put you. So you went in, fought with 50 cents. As well, endorsement. That's where I have a problem. Today he's sick, almost dying. This guy was a rapper of rappers. If you hear Idris rap, it was good, man. Be careful. It is in apprenticeship you learn character. It is in apprenticeship you learn how to endure and tarry. In apprenticeship you let the boss be the boss. Stay small. Apprenticeship tells you how to carry back and follow. As if your own nothing will come out yet. Wife, your time will still come. That's what you do in apprenticeship. The highest value that comes out of our lives in apprenticeship is that our intelligence become harnessed and honed. Your voice allows your intelligence to be honed. So when it puts you on your own personal platform, you don't have the stability, the character, and the wisdom to manage it. So financial issue we are dealing with today, people don't even know how to manage finances. They keep saying, I don't have. It's not that you don't have. You don't know financial management, nor do you know budgeting. Your expenses are more than your incomes. And that's one of the things we want to be dealing with this afternoon. I know He will help us. And those who are married, who have wives, we have to understand that wives have demands. Children comes with demands. Because if you don't buckle up, you'll be like the Joneses. Your expenditures will run far ahead. You become a man who, before you'll be 30 years, you'll be looking like a shade of this. Because you'll be every day, you'll be trying to. A time will come, you won't even be home again. Because why? You have to catch up with all the needs and expenditures of bills coming left and right. So this is a very important area. I want to advise people, and we'll talk about, yes, it's important you marry early, but if you're going to think of early marriage, you have to quickly work on your intelligence. Because you don't think of earning money if you're not intelligent in the area of your finance. Can't do that in this time. So to buttress what we'll look at, let's turn our Bibles to the book of Luke. Luke chapter, let's see. Let's first look at Luke 16, then we'll look at the other chapter, Luke 16 from verse 1.
Luke chapter 16 from verse 1. And he also said to his disciples, there was a certain rich man who had, let's say, a manager, and he accused him, and he was accused to him as wasting his possession. So having called him, he said to him, what is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, for you are no longer able to manage. And the manager said within himself, what shall I do? For my master is taking the managership away from me. I am unable to dig. I am ashamed to beg. I know what I shall do, that when I am removed from the managership, they might receive me into their houses, and call every one of his master's debtors to him. He said to the first, how much do you owe my master? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said to him, take your account and sit down quickly and write 50. Then to another he said, and how much do you owe? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said to him, take your account and write 80. And the master praised the unrighteous manager because he had acted surely, because the sons of his age are more sure in their generation than the sons of light. And I say to you, make friends for yourself by unrighteous wealth, that when you fail, they shall receive you into everlasting dwelling. He who is trustworthy in what is least is trustworthy also in much, and he who is unrighteous in what is least is unrighteous also in much. If therefore you have not been trustworthy in the righteous wealth, who shall entrust to you the truth? If you have not been trustworthy in what is another man's, who shall give you what is your own? No servant is able to serve two masters, for either he shall hate the one and love the other, or else he shall cling to the one and despise the other. You are not able to serve Elohim and wealth.
Thank you. Now look at that story. I'm sure many of us have gone through that story different times. But I'm going to pull something out from that story. It's an amazing story. Now this wealthy man, wealthy people have accountants, they have managers because they are so wealthy, they are who manage their wealth, who manage their business. So they are wealthy. So to be really, really wealthy, you have managers who manage your estates. So your managers bring you the earnings and information of how your estate or your wealth is doing. So this wealthy man had an aspect of his business. He had a manager who oversees it. But the manager who was handling his business, there was something fishy about this guy. So the owner of the rich man felt, let me sack this guy. Before he could sack the manager who is called a shrewd manager, the guy made a statement. He said, I cannot dig, I cannot beg. There are people who, by virtue of their free, you can't start selling pure water. Some people have strength for pure water business. Some have strength. If you are a embodied person, you like cream and shine, and you know that if I lose this my job, I cannot do any menial job, compose yourself well. We bought a housemaid one time. She said she was going to travel. She was traveling for burial. Suddenly from nowhere. I said, okay, because I wanted to sack her already because she was incompetent. She now traveled. She said she will come back the next day. She now stayed here for the next 3 days. This girl is an orphan. Papa is she doesn't have a father. She has nothing. But she took a decision to travel for a burial of someone that does not concern her. Gave herself 3 more days. As she's coming back, I'm firing her. She's now begging. I'm not getting anywhere else to go. Once you know, say you don't get anywhere else to go, anywhere else to fall your head upon, why are you eating food? They give you bowl of rice. Wait, see this one, I don't get anybody. Let me apportion my 3 times. So if you eat this one for 1 week, you eat and finish. The shoot manager understood his condition. The key for you to break out of limitation, know your condition, know yourself. That's my grandmother's wisdom. She will tell us, best way no get my papa, no they chop, no they use two hand chop finish. You don't know, that one finish it on, but you don't know we no get it and small with one hand. The shoot manager realized he is not fitted for digging. He's too big to start begging. It will look somehow, you know. So those 2 aspects was ruled out from those 2 aspects. So we must know our frame. Me. If anything goes wrong in my life, now I can't say, Brother Chukwemeka, can you borrow me 5,000? Brother Boniface, can you borrow me 10,000? By the virtue of my status, if I ever call you and ask that kind of thing, you say, what has happened to Pastor? What is wrong? Some people can do it, but my status have taken me far beyond that. So any bad choice I will be making that will bring me to that point, I will avoid it. So for that status, for me to escape embarrassment, I must be saving. I must have savings. Because when I have a need in my life, I can't ask him is to come below. To come very below. The shoot manager knew that about himself. I cannot dig hard work, stressful work, not hard work, stressful work, physical work that requires strength. I'm not fit for that. I cannot beg. Then what do I do? So what he said to himself. Now what did he figure out? He figured out the way out for himself. He said what? He said to himself, then the manager said to himself, what will I do since my master is taking the management away from me? I am not strong enough to dig. I am not strong enough to dig. I am ashamed to beg. I know what I will do. It is one thing to know what you will not do, but do you know what you must do? I want to build a kingdom legacy project. God has put it in my heart. I cannot do launching. I can't use scam to raise funds. What do I do? That's how I think. I can't manipulate people of their money, then what do I do? I want to move to 3-bedroom flat, 2-bedroom flat next year. What do I do? I cannot live in a place where there is no lights, no lights, I can't live in a place where the crime rate, there's insecurity. The place I want to move my family to has to be secure, but it's more expensive than where I am now. What do I do? You start using your intelligence to think. There is one thing to know what you will not do, but you must know what you must do. See what the guy came up with. He was very smart. So he figured it out on himself, by himself. And this was why the owner was like, wow, this guy got it right. He says, see what I would do. I know what I would do so that when I am removed from management, people will welcome me into their homes. So he began to invest in relationship building. He began to invest in what? Relationship building. So when it comes to you, when things are falling, you won't think it's begging. Because he has, by virtue of this act of cancelling their bills and reducing what they are owing, when it comes to meet them when he has lost his job, those he has given that favor will not know that he has lost his job. They will think, wow, we owe you a favor. So they were thinking they owe him a favor. We owe you, okay, it's a favor we owe you. So when it comes to ask, those people will give him thinking they owe him a favor. If you can't dig, you can't beg. You need to build relationships. You can't dig, you can't beg. Build relationships. So important. Build relationships. Sometimes it means finding where to serve. Finding where to serve. Then when you have need, those you serve will see that your need as they owe you, because while you've served and you've earned a point by the service. But if you can't dig, you can't beg, and you are nowhere, when things go wrong, it will be very, very hard. And that's why many are in a very hard place. You can't tell them now. People come to me for challenge, and I ask them, I say, get 10 people. Do you have 10 people now? You have a challenge, you want 10,000 naira. Now, do you know how to get it? Can you get 20 people? Each of them can give you 500 naira. So if you come to me and tell me you have a problem of 10,000 naira, I will tell you, do you have 20 people in your life now that each of them, if you meet them for 500 naira? And I discover most of these people have no relationships. They don't have 20 people. So how do you think you're going to fix life if you don't have 20 people who each can give you 500 naira? Okay, do you have 10 people right now who each can give you 1,000 naira? You can't dig, you can't beg, but you don't have relationships. You can't dig, you can't beg, yet no relationships. They are poor ministries, so the call of God does not mean you will make it. People, I know a pastor who left Lagos. I'm telling you, when the house rent came, church member did not bring 1 naira. He left the message back to Lokoja. Went to his village and found a place to start his work. You've not networked, you've not built network with people with networks. You hang around people, you just talk, they go, you want anything in their pockets. You don't have time for that kind of relationship. You don't have time for relationship that is worthless. Somebody will come, all they come to your house to do is to look for what is in your pot. Monitor your own the small we are managing. And then you think he's my brother. I know my brother from the same community. Not knowing. Upuka is here. My wife, go and buy. I don't want to buy. He didn't even come to one for bread. And you entertain that person, and he start draining you of the one you have, and you think we are kinsmen. You don't need kinsmen now. You need kinsmen now. These guys will train you. When you have it, there will be nowhere to be found. I'm telling you, there will be nowhere to be found. I'm telling you the truth. This guy he had the native intelligence. He knew his shortcomings. I'm not a graduate. I'm not fit. I'm not fit to work in Shell. Anything Shell, you know you are off. Anything government work, civil servant, you can never do it. You know by the virtue of your career, life choices, life path, you know you can't be a civil servant. Then by the virtue of your state, your body structure, you know you can't join the army anymore. You know you can't start playing football or start doing music. You must know what you are off. You must know what you're not fitted for. You've passed it by age. You can't be in this again. You don't have the advantage. They now know at your own frame, your own state, which one can you now do? And I ask many people, which one can you do? Nothing. They can't tell me what they can do. Then what will help me from? You are now a baggage of problem. Because you can't tell us what you cannot do. Then which one can you do? Nothing. Nothing. So in many churches, these are people that just put the aquarium, they full everywhere. Put boys on the pastor. Put them on the ministry. You must know what you can do. Which one can you do? That's the question. Is that one you can do that Jehovah can begin to work with you with? Okay, no job anywhere. What can you do is still the question. Write a proposal. Because if you know what you can do, then write a proposal of what you can do, how you intend to bring return the next 3 months. You must be able to show something that people can give to us. Kingdom Legacy Project was not all about apostle. It's about what Jehovah put in my heart and how I was able to, by the grace of Jehovah, share the vision with people who saw that this guy knew what he was doing and the people could give to it. It's not it. That's how these things work. God does not really start with you with your own pocket. God can use people's pocket to start with you. But before people's pocket can bring out any currency, you must be able to know intelligently and state clearly what you really want to do and be assured. Nobody will partner with you if you don't. They can't state you are. They can pin you somewhere. Today you are here, tomorrow you are here, tomorrow you are here, tomorrow you are here. But you want a loan. How can somebody give you a loan now of 100,000 that they can't station? You are not stationed in one place. Who will give you a loan when they can't say this man has a wife, he has a child, see where he lives? See those who know him. So many people you can't even vouch for them. So by the virtue of those lifestyle, they have already sentenced themselves to poverty. They are sentenced to poverty for those lifestyle. When you know your situation rightly, you can now figure out, what do I do? He says, I will remove, I'm being removed from management, so he summoned each of his master's debtors. How much do you owe my master? He asked. He asked the first one, 100 measures of olive oil, he said. Take your invoice, he told him. Sit down quickly and write 50. He was canceling debts for these people. Next, he asked another, how much do you owe? 100 measures of wheat, he said. Take your invoice, he told him, and write 80. The master praised the unrighteous manager because he had acted shrewdly. The master, the CEO, when he got ears to the actions of this manager, this guy, can solve problems. Because one of the things people are looking for now in big companies is problem solvers. If you want to work with Tesla, you want to work in these big companies, in Apple does not employ you because you are coming with Harvard degree. Apple will employ you. Those big companies don't employ any longer with graduates or degree. They will put a challenge for you. If you watch this what's it called? Reality program called this guy acted did this former American president, The Apprentice. I don't know if you've seen The Apprentice. Have you seen that program, The Apprentice? It was Donald Trump that hosted that program, The Apprentice. It was exposing entrepreneurs to the street. When an entrepreneur, you want a job, okay, we'll send 5 of you to the street. Draw a plan and then ask for how much do you need. They'll give you a part of the amount. They'll send you to the street, make $100,000 and come back. The Apprentice real reality TV program was those who excel were employed into Trump's business. It's not just saying, see my degree. They push you out to the street, solve a problem. It's not I'm a graduate. It's not can you solve a problem? How can you solve a problem if you can't even solve your own problem? And you are going about with degree and to go solve big company problem, yet your own problem is before you can't even solve it. People are looking for those with a problem-solving skill. The shrewd manager had a problem-solving skill. That's what the CEO, the owner of the business, applauded. Not his wickedness, but in all of it, he saw this guy has a problem-solving skill. So what are we talking about? In financial management, the crucial thing you need now, is that once you evaluate yourself, you understand what you can do and what you cannot do. The next thing you need is a problem-solving skill. You need to have a problem-solving skill. How? Why is it important? When I brought those young guys to come stay here, a time came when I realized they were selling my cement. They would sell my cement while they had troubles, and they felt if I sell one cement, then is it 4.2 then? They sold our cement. And I realized that was how far they could take it. That was how far they could take if I sell this one, but it doesn't solve their problem. You need to understand things. When your expenditure is beyond your income, you are in a place of temptation. You are in a place of temptation. You are either going to be a thief, or be dishonest, or be untruthful. Yes, you just be looking for a way to solve that problem. They put any money in your hands and you want to let me just to solve my problem, and I'll not make up with it. I'll not make it up. You find that you may not even end up making it up. You end up in police station. Yeah, that's what you become. What we need now as we move into this area is we need a problem-solving skill. That's what you need now. A problem-solving skill. So what am I saying? I'm saying in financial management, the most important thing technically is to have a problem-solving skill. That's the crucial thing we need now. It's a skill. You and I will need a problem-solving skill. If we're now going to move into budgeting, we now need to know how the skill, how do you steward what your wife is giving you? How do you steward what your wife is giving you? What if you work in a job where you find what they pay you can barely go anywhere, and many people have such jobs? You still know how to fix it? Through native intelligence, they have developed problem-solving skills. And that's where apprenticeship plays a long role. So when you serve under a leader who's attained to that, you learn it, you pick it from him. And for every one of us, parents are supposed to provide it for children. That's why God puts us in families. Parents were supposed to be the one who showed their children ways to solve problems. The mistakes we do is that we shield our children from problems. When you shield your children from problems, you deprive them of this problem-solving skill. Allow them for. When I went to see my wife, and my little boy fell and broke his lips. Yeah. And when she was speaking about it, I didn't say it. I was like saying in my mind, "Oh, that's good. It's a good fall." It's a good fall. Why? He's a man. He has to fall. So I see that overprotection, and I'm removing all of those kind of protection from my children. Because as parents, you can be so soft and so weak. You call it love. It's not love. You raise children who don't have problem-solving skill and life. The life of hardness you are preventing them from, they will face it in your departure. Expose your children to problems. Let them fall. If he's a man, let him fall. As far as it doesn't break his head or kill him, let him fall, pick him up again, let him clean himself up. We're not saying to be hostile to our children. We're saying in this world we're in, you're not going to get ahead with a degree, you're going to get ahead with a problem-solving skill, and then parents must expose their children to problems. Don't just go and buy everything for them and then show them that they can rely on you and then you can fix all the problem for them. Do you think you'll always be there for them? Over pampering, over giving, removing discipline is why many of us are where we are. We can't even think. A man is 40 years, he's still going home to eat in his mother's pot. If you are 40 years old, you are not ashamed of yourself. At the age of 19, 20, I'm pushing my children out of home. 19, my sons are out of home. Out. Pushing you out. Old man. You are an old man living in your father's house. It's our family compound. Look at you. It's our family house. Look at you. Early in the morning you sleep at 10 o'clock. Sleep till 12 o'clock. You now wake up, tie wrapper. They go to the kitchen. Hey, mama, what's in the cooker? What's in the kitchen? You are on your way to hell. Already. On your way. Because people know that suffering in this country is already hell. So if you wait till those times where you are trained to sit and type wrapper and say, this family house Papa, thank you for this house when you build, oh. And then you are depending on Papa, depend on Mama, you can't solve a problem. 45 years old man, he can't solve a problem. Can't solve problems. I left home at the age of 33, very late. I left home very late. Told my dad I was leaving home. I said, why are you leaving? See, my mom has built 4 bedroom in Lagos. I had a big room. I said, I'm leaving. My dad said, why are you leaving now? There's a house now. I said, no. I said, how many people of my age are in their father's house? How many people? My dad worked with the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria fan. His pension is constant. Every month, 50,000 naira check is giving me check. If you don't know. Every month. I was the one that helped me invest his pension. to buy stock. So I was the one that would manage his finances. So he would write check for me 3,000 every month. I said, I don't want to say, I don't want anymore. I walked away from it. You don't know what I'm talking about. You think we're playing games. I walked away. Why are you leaving? I said, how many people of my age? I went to Okiaro, where if I move left, where we go, I now slept, I now bought, you know this wrong, it's not even wrong carpet. I'm saying that, my man was telling me, because when my brothers expected me to pack my load down, and they came here and they're like, you know when people have an expectation as if you are moving, they look at that, what are you people doing here? They were staying back at home, but I had taken a step out. But to them it felt, if you ever felt, you can always come back home. But I never went back home. I never went back to safety. I was running from that safety. That's those carpets. My body small, this small. The pot I ever went, one small pot. My mother's pot. You know this pot, you can push it like this. But one gas cooker that my wife came and met it when we got married. Just wanted to escape from that place that pampering has kept me. So I released myself from those pampering and moved into my own self-dependent life. And thank God, today I want to raise my children the way my parents raised us. Too pampered, too weak, too soft. So I began to hit the road, Okiaro and Bado, those rough areas of Lagos. Those things deepened me so much. You know. So what I'm saying is that problem-solving skill can be learned from home if parents will allow their children face problem, but when they face a problem, we guide them and encourage them. They don't give up, give beats, help them earn, teach them how to earn. Let them work and then reward them. Don't just say they're my children so they can get anything free. If not, they will find it hard to obtain this skill. And there have been people who their parents sent them to go live with their uncles. Their parents early in life, they were sent away from home to go do apprenticeship. Those boys who went early today, Cosmos, call those guys now. These guys are the leaders in their field. By apprenticeship, they got the sense on how to start their own business and run their own business. If you don't get this sense from parents, you get this sense from uncles, from aunties, from places and people where you go to serve to learn apprenticeship. Then if you don't get it there, we're supposed to get it from school, but today, school does not give it. School doesn't give it. So it's crucial we get this thing. The key to financial rest would be that you obtain a problem-solving skill. What if you've grown too far today, you are 40, 50, and you don't have this skill? You don't have this skill. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just humble yourself and find a way to live. And humble yourself and find a trade. You can learn a trade, or learn under somebody. Find who you can learn under. Find who you can learn with, or learn under, or learn. So you must understand that you can still learn and relearn and unlearn. So problem-solving skill is so crucial in your financial management. And lastly, budgeting. One of the biggest mistakes I made earlier was my failure in this area, the budget. Savings. Many of us don't have savings. Don't have savings. Don't have savings. Everything is chop today. Chop today, forget tomorrow. Can you boast of 50,000 naira savings somewhere that you are not going to touch ever? You should have savings. Come rain, come shine, have savings. You're earning 50 naira. Save 5 naira from that 50 naira. You must have a savings. And then you keep putting bit by bit in that savings. It will give you a sense of joy you have. Think of that sense of happiness that it gives you when you know you have it's an amount of money. There's a happiness money gives you. And there's an anger lack puts in you. So you either choose the happiness of having money saved, or you choose the anger of being in lack. So begin by having savings. We must develop saving culture. We as parents, because why? If you grew up in homes where these things were taught, parents was taught, you have this thing called colo. Those days we have this box of money where you'll be dipping money in there. These things were developed then to culture children in this financial management. Today we must go back to the savings culture. Must go to the savings culture. And that will also cover every area of even our food. Don't just buy a bag of rice now. We have a bag of rice. That means this one is consumed. Bag of beans consumed. Surplus is not a license for Mr. Boniface has surplus, so call people in. No, surplus means that God is giving you protection for the times of lack. Surplus is not that you now have a surplus to now squander freely. If you've been eating 2 times, it's now 4 times. Surplus means that He's giving you a protective shield. There are times coming when you will not have. And be careful of people who see your surplus as a means to just open your surplus. They'll just come see your surplus and then think you have surplus for them to now squander and then take from you. You need people who now add to your surplus, who will put into your surplus. God does not give us surplus so we can now live like rascals. He gives you surplus to protect you from the times of lack coming. Because why? As far as you're on earth, we revolve in the circle of lack and abundance. Lack and abundance. You hit the circle of abundance and come back to lack. So if you have abundance and you store enough during abundance, when that lack circle comes, you won't feel it. So we keep feeling it because why? When we had the season of abundance, we squandered it. And this is so very, very vital. That's why for many of us, if we say give offering, you bring 100 naira. Now if you can bring 100 naira, I said it thoughtfully myself. I said, see, if a man is working Monday till Friday, and he comes to a Sabbath meeting, and he gives you over 100 naira, which is not up to $1. That means that Monday till Friday, you've not done anything productive with your life. Or you give 15 naira offering. However happy or secure your conscience is after you give that 15 naira to God, and you're a man of 24 years, 19, 20 years, you are giving 15 naira which is not even up to $1. That means you are not working, or you are doing the wrong job, or you're just waving around town. So for you to be able to do for the kingdom, you must be able to do for yourself. So if a man cannot even sustain his own family, his own well-being, if we're talking kingdom business or kingdom sowing, you cannot even be a part of it. Why? You are still far off that realm. Because before you can start talking about sowing to the kingdom, you must first have been able to take care of your own self and your own family. So people can even take care of themselves. Why? They are far off. They lack problem-solving skill. They can't even manage their own life. They are disorganized. They have no savings. So their life is just their life is just like this. So if they now come and say give, you don't know, compare them to soup. He's saying there's a project. Can you come? They're looking at you like this now. So what they are saying does not reckon. They do not the code. You are speaking in code. You are talking codes. Because man is hungry. It's a man is hungry. Pastor, they talk about tithes. Tithes not food. Let me when my job finish now we talk that. So anything you are talking about, build projects. You know why people don't have land? You can't have land when you are still thinking about how to secure your stomach. Land, what are you doing with land when you're talking about food? So where many of us are today is that we must retain and restore the years the locusts and the cankerworm have eaten. So the foundation first is you and I must develop problem solving skill. You must be able to think out of that place you are now, and you can do it. And secondly, you must be able to now, by moving out of that place, develop an attitude of not squandering but saving, protecting everything Jehovah put in your hands. Not that He has put them in your hands to squander, they are in your hands because the circle will play out, lack will come, and you don't want to go begging, and you have no strength to dig. And that's why this area of teaching is so important. I'm going to make room for questions now, and if you have questions, I don't know where if it's a personal question, you know where you are now. This is where I am, but I want to be a millionaire. This is where I am. I want to own a land. I want to own land in the next 1 year. Pastor, what do I do? So you need to really touch into what you must practically do for you to see change in your life. Amen. Let's say you, sir.
I'm really sorry to say this because since honestly you were saying, if you watch my position, my mind is so good. My mind is so good. Because I'm a type that go into this system that says, and my father died, maybe. And my mother is the type of train you up in your that even if you go inside water, you will see. So when I was in the States, I was learning work and learning this work I mean many years. So I used to pray, say, God, if you do this for me, I will eat your night, I will do this, I will do this, I will always give it to your kingdom. If you don't, if I don't do so, correct it for me. And that's when, immediately when you said it, my mind just put there. And God bless right feeling. There was a time somebody promised me 100,000. One of my you can look at that. There are a place somewhere I will give you 100,000. Before you bring out this money, it's like a force. Hide it in a way that to bring out the money is very hard. I went to pray and say, God. And there's nothing I have ever asked God. He cannot do for me. Say, God, if this man gives me this money, whatever it is like that. Immediately I say this thing, for reach about 2 weeks, the man called me and said, take them.
Amen.
Out of it, I bring 10,000. Then I'm attending a Presbyterian church. And so that I put that tithe into their tithe shop. See more, my shop. That's why I like how God made me in a way that if something pass, I will move on for another distance. So, if you see my shop, you know me. You say, how this small one that people say that I'm a society guy, this, that. But they don't know this. My mind set. Now, move out from all these promises. Even if I go into church, they will keep on prophesying nonsense. Nonsense. Because if you prophesy to me, I'll take it in. My spirit will tell me that, yes, you said the truth. Or they keep prophesying nonsense for me after all I said that now. So, when you before I got to the question, please, I want to pray for me. I want to make a new covenant of God. I want to make a new covenant of God. Because from that time, all those prayers, if I kneel down and say, God, this is what I have, all them sins. All them sins. Before I would pray, shout. Before I take over the hospital. But when I go up, if I lay down and say, God, maybe I'm on that side and say, this side, let me go finish the book. I go into it and I say, God, that side I go today. Whoever I will come there, let them come. I will do them. They will call me that as I will be on my own. They will call me and say, come and make sure that this. But along the line, all those things. It's now that I'm beginning to sense it. Ooh, is this me I have been on them? But now, my question is, in a situation like this, what do I do? And again, how do we pay our own tithe?
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's important that it's so important. But our personal experiences, because nobody's going to use gimmicks or manipulation with anybody here. That's one to come short of. And this is the best you can. And I choose my word carefully without exaggeration. But you are committed here. The teachings we are bringing, the things we are showing you, so the things that the longer you apply them, you will testify. They will be a fruit. But they won't be compulsory. You will not be forced to give, forced to sow, or forced to do anything. It's going to flow from you. It's going to flow from you. You cannot think of the need of God if your own needs are not met. That's why God promised Abraham his son. But all of his following God, he will say, reminding God about his own, say what I need. And that's where we are seeing Abraham was still dealing with that special need in his life. So eventually God met that special need of Abraham. Over time, Abraham started seeing beyond Isaac. He started seeing. Abraham now saw that God was even more than Isaac. He was thinking Isaac was a need. So he found that God was indeed beyond and more than he was. God is in the shade. As we are now, we are still at the level of economic need. Economic need. It encompasses what to eat, what to wear, and shelter of our economic need. But the way out of that is we make his kingdom our priority. He feeds the birds of the air, clothes the lily. Economic needs are connected with worries and anxiety. These two things are linked with your economic need. It's worry and anxiety. That's what you live with. And then you are prone to high blood pressure, even diabetes, and even stress just because of this. To avoid that trap, he calls us to seek his kingdom first and his righteousness. And every other thing the Gentiles seek, Jehovah will add to it. Why? He will give you that problem-solving skill that is wisdom. Wisdom is a problem-solving skill. Wisdom can enter this forest now and bring gold out. Wisdom can enter a city, dilapidated, and build where people have abandoned. If wisdom step in there, wisdom will decorate that place. The thing you call trash is treasure in the eyes of wisdom. But Jehovah must extend that wisdom to you. But it doesn't come unless you fear the Lord. That's what we're talking about. The way out is two ways. The first is repentance, and then you must make the covenant of the fear of God. If you don't fear God, it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, is the beginning of problem solving ability. Without the fear of God, you are not a candidate for that wisdom. You are not. And once you have this problem solving ability, like it was for Daniel, kings will begin to call for you. Daniel outlive kings. Joseph, a slave boy in prison, they brought him out of prison to come stand with the king. No protocol. If you have problem solving ability, God will give you access to men with problems, while there are people right now in our world who have huge problems. Yes, building problem. Why don't you have a building contract? Why don't you have a job? Why are you not doing? Why don't you have $1 million in your account? You need wisdom. Problem solving ability. It comes when we make the fear of Jehovah the foundation of our life. So you can gain insight to this problem solving ability. You must first repent when you miss it, because you know where you're missing. Nobody will tell you. It's not me that will tell you. It's not my job to tell you. You know where you missed it. You know what was working for you that has stopped working. You know it. It's not my job to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you. You know what to do. Your heart, put this in your heart, tell you what to do. You repent, and then you make the fear of God. You make the fear of God the order of your life. For many of us, I'm not going to, because if we start, I can talk tightly now on the business seminar, and you will agree with it. If I bring it on a Saturday, you think they have come again to bring it in so that people are home. He's teaching it now, and because the church wants to content. That's what you quickly think about. So, we're not carefully trying to make sure people don't get us wrong. 1/10 of your earning, the same day, the seventh day, belongs to Jehovah. That's how 1/10 of all your increase belongs to Jehovah. You are not going to offer it if you don't have the fear of God in your heart. Forget the gimmicks of charismatic Christian ministries who want to steal from people for money's sake. If you want the well-being of our members, you must teach them the fear of Jehovah. Once you have the fear of Jehovah, you would talk to yourself and tell yourself what is what for yourself. Nobody will tell you. And you do it. I'm not going to be the one telling people, and this is what you must do. This is what you must do. Once you awaken, you will do it. Once it dawns on you, you will do it. The fear of Jehovah is the foundation for this problems of ability. Once you have it, you can't be in lack. Amen. Any other question? Now, like for this man who is who has security. Now we have asked. Now God has blessed us with. I was in this man's farm, Anosiki. He was, I think, planted some time ago, and he invested this huge cucumber. I said, wow, how people in lack that even God has put food in the earth. And it dawned on me that the space we have been given here, a time will come when God bless us with vegetation, members will be coming in and they won't need to go buy food. They will just move into the primitive farm of the ministry and then take vegetable and take pepper and take this thing. Because We are not supposed to be lack. And then we encourage people also to see and say, this is what we can do here. It's not about me just trying to compare this is Apostake's place. No, I want people to have that problem-solving skill that you can see the space and you can say, this is what I think we can do to generate income in this area. This is what can be done to generate income in this area. And that's part of the things we are doing almost over the water production. Because crucially, there's always been in my mind that we will embark in water production, clean water, solving the problem of water, solving the problem of food. It's all here. So we're calling many more people to join us in this venture of problem solving. And even a thought came to my mind and I was like, wow, I can even generate my own power. I won't depend on NEPA or electricity. I'm thinking that the ability, so whenever I feel like NEPA is disturbing me, then in the past I would not even think of dealing with it. But now as I grow in the Torah, I tell myself, if NEPA disturbs me too much, I'm generate my own power. So I'm thinking about that innate ability of God in me, and I believe I can generate my own source. So you can have the same idea and the same mindset in God. Don't have this idea of you are unable. You can be the one that needs your own power, your own water, your own food. Let's stop making excuses. God lives in us. Amen. So there's no other question. I think we'll call it a day. Tomorrow, what time? 3 o'clock tomorrow. That will be the last. Would that be the last before the Sabbath? That's the last. So that's the last will be our last seminar. Then the next will be the 8th day assembly. That's on Wednesday. Am I correct? 19th. 19th is the 8th day assembly. Yes. Yeah? 10 a.m. So on Wednesday, 10 a.m. is a Sabbath. Don't forget. Wednesday is Sabbath. Next month is Sabbath. It's the 8th day assembly. So you've commanded that on the Feast of Tabernacle, the first day of Tabernacles is a Sabbath. And after the 7-day Sabbath, after the 7-day feast, the 8th day is the 8th day assembly. It's the Sabbath also. So in 8 you do no work. So this coming Wednesday is the Sabbath. So we're meeting here to acknowledge the Sabbath and observe the Sabbath this coming Wednesday. So have a refreshment. To be a feast as your God will bless us and enable us to do. So tomorrow, what is the teaching tomorrow? Because it's partnership to spread the gospel. So tomorrow we'll be using the up floor for that, because we want to speak to each one of us about partnership to spread the gospel. If you look at the things we'll be teaching on the 9VG, the business conference, is to lead into what I'll be sharing tomorrow on partnership in spread the gospel. And that was part of what I said about agriculture and water production. We also have a farm. If you pass Afar Road, you see George Ray Farm. We have a farm there. It's a coffee farm here. Yeah, so one of the things we're looking at also is because there's a big coffee market over in the US. We want to plant coffee and export coffee. We also want to go into food production and water production. We also want to empower every one of our members to be entrepreneurs. I'm not an advocate of employment or salary. You can be entrepreneurs. So my goal as your leader, as your pastor, is to pump faith in you and pray for you and pray with you, so you can be that entrepreneur, you can be that millionaire, that billionaire you can be. There's no restraint, there's no generational curses after me or demon. I will pray for you and then break every whatever demonic stuff holding you back. There's no reason why you should be limited, why you're here. So we want you to be kingdom entrepreneurs, multi-millionaires. And that's one of the things I'll be sharing with you tomorrow on partnership to spread the gospel. Amen. If you're not, do you have a offering basket here? So if you're watching right now, thanks for being a part of today's broadcast, want to encourage you right now. If you have an offering, now the ways to give out. Now the ways to give is on the screen. I'm going to put how you can give on the screen. Now you can get involved with House of Israel. So you can give through, if you're watching live, you can give through Cash App, through Word Remit, or through PayPal. Through PayPal, and also can give through, go on our website and click on donate, HOINigeria.donate. As you do, may God bless you mightily in Yeshua's name. You know, at the time when we had restriction. What Remit blocked us from receiving funds from overseas. We had so much restriction. There are two platforms we use to help our partners who are watching to give. What Remit and we use Cash App and PayPal. Each of these platforms is not in Nigeria. You can't use them in Nigeria. You can open a PayPal account if you're in Nigeria, or a Cash App. But now we needed to be able to get support from our partners. How did they do it? Problem solving. So many times because of the restriction in money laundering, restriction in scam, there's ways the enemy try to block us from getting finances. The same way I've been teaching, that's the same thing we use. Your word gives me the problem solving ability to navigate through the storms. Storms will come to you. Roads will be blocked. Door will be shut. But as long as you have this problem solving skill, you will overcome. And that's one thing you pray before you go now. Say, Father, launch me to the realms of the problem solving wisdom. Bring me into the place of the problem solving wisdom. I receive this hour problem solving wisdom. I receive now the problem solving wisdom in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm declaring now, Abba, release unto me the problem solving wisdom. Problem solving wisdom. Let no problem be too difficult for me to solve. Unveil to me access to the mind of Messiah, the mind that solves problems. Help me see every problem as an opportunity for my breakthrough and my elevation. Let every financial problems, health problems, family problems, marital problems, let solution be handed to me now in Yeshua's name. Thank you, Father. I bless every hands lifted to give. I decree your God's blessings rest upon your businesses, upon your mind, upon your affairs. As you give, may God multiply you. You shall never lack as a result of your giving. On the contrary, your God will multiply you, bless you, and increase you. In Yeshua's mighty name. So see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Shalom.